everyone. Welcome to episode 75 of the Gihyam podcast, where I talk about the energy of the week and deep spiritual wisdom from the sages on how we can create miracles in our lives. One quick announcement is that starting January 9th, I'll be opening up a new journey called Activate Your Highest Destiny, and we'll have tens of thousands of people from all around the world joining 3 live webinars. I'll be giving you daily meditations, one in the morning, one at night, how to activate miracles for the day, as well as you'll have access to David AI. And as always, is pay what feels right to you. So look at the link below or head on to my website, davidgihyam.com, to be able to access that journey. So what is the energy of this week? What's available to us? As many of us are heading into the new year, and probably this is a time where we are spending more of our energy with family. It's important to know that every time we are elevating to a new energy or a new destiny, or you start to spend time with other people versus being alone, something gets activated inside of us, which is called the desire to receive for the self alone. And what does that mean? What does that feel like practically? It's when we feel needy. When we feel needy. So think about, like, let's say you're in a coffee shop and you're having a coffee, and someone that you like walks in. It can be someone you look up to. It can be someone that you have a crush on. It can be someone you admire, and they walk into the coffee shop. At that exact moment, what happens to you? That person doesn't see you, but you see them. What's happening inside of you at that moment? Something is being awakened. You're starting to feel a desire to receive energy because this person walked in. Maybe there's a part of you that wants to be noticed. There's a part of you that becomes self-conscious. There's a part of you that's wondering, should I walk over there and talk to them? You start to feel needy. And what's the difference if someone you don't respect or you don't care about at all walks in, and someone you're not attracted to at all walks in? You don't feel anything. Nothing's activated inside of you. At that exact moment that someone walks in whose energy you desire, there's a part of you that's activated that actually disconnects you from miracles. Because we know that every time you are needy, every time you feel that you need someone's energy, or you react to trying to take their energy, even trying to check to see if you look good at that moment, even trying to position yourself in a way to make them like you more. At that moment, the sages say you are disconnecting your soul from the light of the Creator, which means you disconnect from that realm of miracles, that realm of abundance, that realm of circuitry where blessings come about. So what is the formula for miracles? It's to increase your desire for everything, because you don't want to shrink your desire. You should want it all. But at the same time, not feel needy of that thing that you want. Now try to feel that for a moment. Try to think of something that you desire in your life. It can be in the area of relationships, intimacy, finance, children, friendship, health. And what bucket shines for you? And you want something there. What does it feel like to want love but not need love? What does it feel like to want abundance, a lot of abundance, but not need it? Not feel like your happiness is dependent on it. Not feel like the thought of money makes you anxious and fearful. What does that feel like? What does it feel like to just trust while not losing your desire? A lot of people think that if they have trust and certainty, they won't have desire, because most people are working every day from a place of fear and lack. And that's what's driving them. That's what's motivating them. Oh my God, I need to make money. I need to be financially independent. I better go do something. Oh my God, I'm getting older. I better get married. I better find love. Everyone's getting married before me. Everyone's moving forward in their lives and I'm not. I better do something to go and get it. Were you anxious about meeting your soulmate when you were 19 years old? When you were 25 years old, were you thinking about that? No, you were just having fun. You were just enjoying your life. You were so present. Our children don't have anxiety. Our children are having fun. Unless the only anxiety children have are often because of the anxiety parents put on them. Children aren't thinking about the past or the future. They're not wondering if one day they're going to have enough money. They're actually quite delusional about what kind of lives they're going to have. Like my child tells me, I'm going to have all the money in the world and I'm going to buy this house and I'm going to kick you out of it so I can be in control. My 7-year-old says that to me. And guess what? He has certainty that he's going to have all the money in the world and buy my house and kick me out of it. That's a wonderful delusion to have. Adults would never think that. Adults would be like, oh my God, what's going to happen tomorrow? Will I have enough even? So we see that there are moments in our lives we've had a desire without the neediness that accompanies a desire. The neediness is what attracts the negative forces that are called the klipot to the desire. And that's what's causing chaos. A lot of people think that the way they solve for neediness is by not wanting it at all. I don't care about a relationship right now. I don't care about growing my business right now. I don't care about what anyone thinks of me. But they're not removing the neediness, they're shutting down the desire. And there's a very distinct difference between the two. I want you, and that is the power that is available in this week. I want you to increase your desire. Practically, that means increase your goals for the coming year. However much money you wanted to make, do you know that the Creator wants to give you 1,000 times that amount? If your goal was to make $100,000 in this coming year, do you know that the Creator wants to give you tens of millions? But we're so stuck on this number that we think that's all we deserve. When you expand your desire and simultaneously remove the neediness of how it's going to happen, when it's going to happen, if it's going to happen, you experience this equilibrium, this centered peace, this energy, which then attracts that reality. And who knows how it's going to come? Your logical mind's going to get involved that moment and say, well, how will I jump from $100,000 to $10 million? I mean, this year I made 90,000 and logically I should get to 100. But 10 million? That doesn't sound right. You have to let go on how miracles will come to you. Because the Creator is endless. And part of our spiritual work is to think endlessly. Part of our spiritual work is to expand our desire and know that endless possibilities can occur. At the very least, to know they can occur. Forget about how you're going to achieve it. Because if you don't believe it can occur, there's no chance it will ever happen at all. Because the Creator will never give you something that you don't believe you deserve to receive or can receive. Because the Creator is not allowed to coerce its energy into your vessel. That would be bread of shame. It's a concept we've learned in my foundational masterclass, Your Infinite Soul. The Creator, there is no coercion in spirituality. The Creator cannot force its light upon you. You said to the Creator, do not give me something I do not desire. So every day the Creator looks at you and says, do you desire this? Yes. Then the second question is, but are you needy of it? Because if you're needy, I still can't give it to you. You cannot receive a blessing if you don't have a desire for it, or if you have a desire for it, but you're needy of it. In both cases, you cannot receive the blessing. You must have a desire without the neediness. This creates what's called the perfect vessel to receive that miracle in your life. And guess what? It happens in the blink of an eye. I've seen people's destinies shift in the blink of an eye. I had a friend of mine who, we've been friends, but he's never gotten involved in my work. And we were at an event, and something told me I need to go to lunch with him. I need to go to lunch with him. And I didn't know why. I didn't know it was because we would work together or I would need his counsel on something. I didn't even think that maybe he would need my counsel on something. But we sat for lunch. And he started asking me about my life, and I started telling him all the things I'm doing because we haven't caught up in a while. And then I asked him about his life, his business, and he was sharing things. And he's very talented. And I said to him, it doesn't make sense to me. You're making X amount of dollars, but you're so talented, you could make 100 times that. And I started asking him questions and identifying limited beliefs that he has all along the way. About 45 minutes went by, and it felt like he broke open thousands of years of limited beliefs in tikkun. I said, why do you think that? Why do you think that? Why do you think that? Why don't you value your time? Why don't you raise your rates? Why are you doing so many projects at the same time? And each time his answer was a limited belief. Well, if I raise my rates, people won't want to do as much business with me. I'm like, what's wrong with that? I said, why do you have so many clients? Because I don't want to disappoint them. Well, what's wrong with that? What's wrong with disappointing them? What if they don't feel like they're getting enough from you because subconsciously you don't want to be with them anyways? Let them go. Focus on your top clients. Raise your rates. Focus on your top clients. Invite in a greater energy, a greater client. And he's like, wow, that sounds amazing. I actually would love that. So why wasn't he living that life? Because he had limited beliefs. He had desires that were combined with neediness of, oh my God, what will happen if I let this go or let that go? I was talking to a physician, and surely this physician can clearly get to the next level of their practice, but they're so afraid of letting go of patients that have been with them for decades. And what am I going to do? And these patients are still paying this doctor what they paid him 20 years ago. But it feels so bad because people in the services industry, healers, doctors, coaches, people in my space, in the spirituality space, everybody's afraid to establish the value of who they are because they think it's selfish, or they have some limited belief around money as being evil. And so we got to cast all of that away. This is the year where, at the very least, we need to think in an unlimited way of what the Creator wants to give us. Whatever you think you are meant to receive, or you are setting goals to receive, the Creator is laughing at it because the Creator's like, why so limited? I want to give you so much more. If I asked you to write down your dream partner to get married to, like, give me your perfect checklist. What if I told you that by you writing out all your goals of your perfect partner, and then put that list away, go do your spiritual work, reach the highest level of your soul, the Creator will actually give you a partner that is greater than what you wrote down? Do you believe that that's possible? We often can't see it. We can't understand why we even would deserve such a thing. Most people's soul correction is they feel they do not deserve. They do not deserve. And as a result, they're shutting down opportunities and limiting themselves. I talked about earlier on my last webinar in Healing Soul Contracts, I said there are a lot of parents who hide behind their children to just parent, as opposed to doing other things that they love to do, investing in themselves, maybe even running a business, or hobbies and passions, or physically taking care of themselves. And because they're so afraid to take risks and be rejected, they basically says, no, my purpose is just to be a dad or just to be a mom. And then they'll tell themselves, well, it's already such a full-time job. And it is. I have 4 children of my own, and they're babies. And it takes a lot of time and energy. But the question is not, does it take a lot of time and energy, but do you believe that you deserve to have it all, to be able to take care of children and have a career if you want, or a passion, or play sports, or do whatever makes you happy? You're probably not doing it, not because you don't have time, but because you're afraid to do it. You're afraid you'll be a bad mom. You're afraid that you'll pursue something and it's going to fail and you're going to look like an idiot. So you'll instead hide behind the I'm going to be a parent facade. But what's happening is now you're using your child as a shield for your ego because you're afraid to take a risk. You're afraid to put yourself out there. And only you know if that's true. Only you know if that's true. I only share that example in case it's true for you. It may not be. And many of you hearing this are like, well, I don't have children. It doesn't really apply to me. But there's other parts of your life where this does apply, where you are keeping yourself small, where you're keeping your goals small because that's safe. I remember one of the issues we always had in our company was I would ask my executives, what is the revenue goal for next year that you think we can hit? Now, I would meditate and I would see a number. So I felt like spiritually I was accessing a number. They used more data to assess. So imagine a company is doing $1 million of revenue, and these are hypothetical numbers. And I would say, okay, I think next year we can do $2 million. I think we can double. And everyone else will say, well, I think we should just aim for 20% growth. Now, why are they saying 20%? Because they want to pick a number that they are sure they can achieve, because they don't want to look bad reaching for a high number that they may not be able to achieve. Does that make sense? I'll say it again. When I'm setting the goal, I'm setting a goal for a high number that we can all aspire to, right? Let's double growth. Even if we don't get there, even if we get to 60, 70% of that, like that's still amazing. But they'll say, David, the gold standard of growth is 20%, right? For companies, if you're growing 20%, that's called a high growth company. That's great growth. That's celebrated in all industries. So they'll say, let's aim for 20. Now, why are they saying 20? Because they want to play it safe. They don't want a month to go by where we didn't grow 100% and everyone's going to question them why. There's stress, there's pressure. And I get it, because you are bonused upon hitting your projections, right? And so one of the things I learned is we cannot bonus people or incentivize people on thinking small. We have to incentivize people on thinking big. I know friends of mine who literally incentivize their employees on simply being delusional and doing crazy things. I have founders who give bonuses to employees who break the system. Like, he's like, I want you to break the system. I want you to try things that no one's ever tried and fail and get data from it. That's how I want to incentivize you. And so all of us, we all play it safe. Whatever you're thinking, whatever goal you're setting, we are playing it safe. And I remember sitting with my own business mentors. One time I went for a walk with someone who had a company that was 100 times the size of mine at the time. And I told him about my 20% growth desire for the year. And he's like, I don't understand. Why can't you 10x your business? And I had all these reasons. I'm like, well, at this size, it's very hard to grow and blah, blah, blah. And all he heard was blah, 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 blah. And he's like, no, I don't accept that. If the creator wants to give you 100x, are you not open to receive that? And I'll tell you, it took 30 minutes for me to remove the limited belief from my mind, even though I was telling my audience the same lesson. I wasn't following it on my level. And I can't tell you what happened after that conversation with him. Literally the next week, so many new opportunities came because I stopped limiting it. I stopped limiting it by wanting to play everything safe. I'm not saying take a lot of risks in your life or your business. That's not what I'm saying at all. Even before you do one thing differently in the physical world, I want you to open your mind to the endless possibilities that want to come in. Maybe whatever your goal is, 10 times that's supposed to happen. Maybe not. But are you open? Is there at least a line of communication the creator can have for you, can have with you to make it a possibility for you? Are you open at all if the creator wants to give you more to even receive it? Is there some place for the creator to knock on your door and give it to you, or are you just closed for business? And being open is how we get the most profound, powerful messages. So, in conclusion, as you enter the new year, the negative side is going to want to make you play it safe, to make you keep limited beliefs, but convince you that that is growth. That is amazing. That's better than last year. I want you to think of endless possibilities. I want you to write down your wildest dreams of what could happen, and even then know that your wildest dreams are still limited. That whatever your wildest dreams are like a drop in the ocean of what the creator actually desires to give you. That's how great, vast, big, loving, and compassionate the creator is. And how it's going to happen, let it go. let it go. Because truth be told, letting go is how you'll see and be guided in how the miracle will manifest. And I didn't think about sharing this story, but I want to share it with you now. I shared it last night, actually, with a small group of friends. And for me, it's one of the best miracle stories I personally ever had. You might think differently, but I want to share it with you because I saw and felt a few weeks ago the light of the Creator truly be manifested in a powerful way. The story was that 2 weeks ago on a Saturday, I was having lunch with a few friends. And I live on a street where if I turn right, if I walk out of my building and I walk about half, and if I turn left and I walk about half a mile, I get to the house where my children are at, which I go to every day to be with my children. And I'm living right in the middle of this. So after lunch, I'm getting dressed to go to the gym. So me and a couple of friends, we depart from lunch. They're going to go home and I'm going to go to the gym. One of my friends is a very intuitive woman. She's actually a known intuitive psychic astrologer. And as I got down, I asked her, I said, something's telling me I should ask you. I was going to go to the gym, but what do you feel my soul needs to do right now? I don't even know why I asked it. And she looks at me and she says, and she just blurts it out like she's not even thinking. She's like, you need to walk for 12 minutes and the Creator will show you why. I said, that's your message? Walk for 12 minutes? And she said, walk for 12 minutes. I said, okay, so maybe she's thinking I'm going to walk 12 minutes and get to the gym. And I said, do I turn right? And she's like, no, you don't turn right. I was actually kind of frustrated because I wanted to go to the gym. She's like, you need to turn left. And I said to her, well, how do I know how long 12 minutes is? Because I didn't have my phone on me. Because every week for the Sabbath, I turn off all electronics. For 25 hours, I don't have a phone on me. I've been doing that for, 23 years now. Every week I turn off my phone. So I don't have a phone. I said, I don't have a watch at the time. So I said, I don't know how to measure 12 minutes. She said to me, there are 60 seconds in a minute, and every step you take is a second. So that's 720 seconds, right? There's 12 minutes, 60 seconds, that's 720 seconds. So take 720 steps. And right when you take your last step, you'll know why. This is her message to me. And she has no idea what she's saying. She's channeling something. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, I'm kind of bothered and frustrated because my body was really excited about going to exercise. I have an hour and a half before I have to see my kids for dinner. It's 4:00. And I'm like, then I thought to myself, oh, I know what it is. I want you to see how my logical brain is like logical. If I turn left and I walk 720 steps, I'm actually going to get to my house where my kids are. And guess what? The address to my house is. The number of my house address is 720. Without giving you the street name. It's 720. I'm like, wow, she channeled that. There's no way she could have known that. And I said, you're telling me that I should go to my house. She's like, I didn't tell you that. She's like, let go. Surrender whatever you think this is and just walk. The Creator will guide you. I said, fine. I'm going to try this. It was very uncomfortable for me because this was going against what I wanted to do in my day. Now, I start walking left. If I keep walking straight, I'm going to hit my house. But when I got to the intersection of the first street, it's a street that goes down a hill. I felt almost like there was an energetic wall in front of me that I can't go straight. I have to turn left. And she said, the Creator will guide you. And I felt like, why, is this the Creator guiding me? I felt like I'm compelled to go down the hill. And I'm like, oh, if I go down the hill, then I'm even farther from my house. I'm going to walk back up the hill. Stop thinking logically. I said, I'm going to walk down the hill. And mind you, I'm taking steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm counting 720 steps. No phone, no watch. I have no idea what I'm doing. I walk and I stop on a 720th step. And I turn right and I'm in front of a house with the gate open. And in my neighborhood, gates aren't left open. For security reasons, people just don't leave their gate open. This gate's open. I look at the street to see what the number is. The number is 719. Okay, 719. Not 720, but 719. And I look around, I'm like, is there a 720? There's no 720 because across the street is actually a whole different sequencing of numbers. So there's 719, there's 721, but it's a house that the gate's closed. So I'm like, okay. And I stopped at 719. So I was already freaking out. And I said, I'm supposed to go knock on the door of this house. And I've never done that. Can you imagine I'm walking up to a random stranger's house in Beverly Hills, knocking? You don't knock on random people's homes in Beverly Hills. So I'm like, oh, I'm guided here. I have to do it. So I'm walking up. I have a Stanley cup in my hand. I'm going to the gym. I'm wearing my gym outfit. And I knock on the door. Nobody answers. I knock again. This woman comes to this side. She opens the curtain. She looks at me. And she starts freaking out. Now, I don't know if she's freaking out because she thinks that there's like an intruder at her house or she knows who So she opens the door. She goes, David? I say, yes. I don't know who she is. She's like, what are you doing here? I said, I don't know. I said, she's like, well, how'd you get here? I said, it's kind of a long story. My friend who's a psychic told me to walk 720 steps and I'm going to land somewhere. I'm going to know why I landed and I landed here at your house. I knocked on your door and she's freaking out. A long story short, she has a partnership. She's an influencer who just moved from another country, moved from Italy and just got to LA. The furniture is not even in her house and just moved into that house. She works closely with my brand, and she was actually supposed to meet Mary Ruth the following week, unbeknownst to me. And she's like, wow, the creator sent you to my house. I said, yeah. She said, can you come inside for a moment? I said, sure. I have no idea what's happening. I go into the house, and I've never met this woman before. I walk into the house, and we sit and talk for 30 minutes. She tells me her life story. And I'll tell you, like, this whole thing, I felt like I was vibrating like I was on drugs. I literally felt I was on drugs without being on drugs because I had totally let go. It was uncomfortable and I felt guided. Someone channels for me 720. I land on 719, which is virtually 720. And 720, by the way, it's the 72 names of God, which is miracles. And she didn't think about that when she said it. She didn't even know that was miracles. There's so many secrets to the number 720 or 72. So she told me something. She said 3 years ago, she had no money and she was in Italy. And she said, I'm going to manifest moving to LA, becoming an influencer, working with major brands like Mary Ruth's. And she said, I told myself, no matter what, I'm going to manifest my miraculous reality. And 3 years later, she moves to LA. She just moved in that house. She manifested a partnership with my brand. And she literally manifested me coming to, like, think about it for a moment. Her certainty and mind over matter was so strong that I didn't have free will to literally walk out of my home like a zombie and walk straight to her house. Think about the power each one of us have to manifest the reality and destiny we want, and that the creator wanted to show her whatever you were going to dream of, I can give you even more. The creator wanted to show me whatever I think he has a much bigger plan. And the only way to access it is, number one, to be open, and number two, to let go of control. And those two forces have to be at play all the time. Think big, let go. Think big, let go. Think bigger, let go. And letting go is always whatever you feel you're so fixated on, you're so attached to. Something has to happen a certain way. Someone has to say something in a certain way. Something has to be a certain way. You're waiting for someone and you're controlling people in your house. You're controlling people in your company. You're controlling your friends. You're controlling your schedule. Just take a breath and be open to the fact that you might be controlling things so much that you're suffocating the creator out of it. I walked out of that house and I felt totally connected to the tree of life. And why? Only because I let go. And then I really understood that's the way we are meant to feel all the time. My level of intuition was through the roof at that moment. My sensitivity to everything. Like, I could see multiple worlds. And that miracle that happened, I was just freaking out. All of us are meant to taste that world. People often try to access it through drugs, but Drugs are simply borrowing light that then you have to pay back to the negative side. That's why people crash from drugs. That's why people form addictions. That's why so much chaos happens. Yeah, of course, when someone's on a drug, they have this limitless moment and they see things and they perceive things. And obviously there's certain drugs that help people understand the spiritual world. But my point is, if you're relying on drugs, or if you're using drugs as your only access point, you're going to never access this reality fully. You ultimately have to access it through your spiritual work, ultimately. This year, allow yourself to think bigger than you ever have, and give yourself the permission to let go of the way you micromanage and control how things happen. Let's do a meditation now to bring this to a point of manifestation. I want you to sit comfortably and take a deep breath. Disconnect your soul from your body consciousness. What are all the attachments that come up for you when I say attachments? Where is there control in your life? Where do you feel like you're being controlled? Where do you feel that you're injecting too much of your own control? Where are you micromanaging people, time, life? What if, by letting go of how something needs to happen, when something needs to happen, if something needs to happen, you allow it to happen? What if, by letting go right now, you create the space for the Creator to come in and do miracles beyond your wildest dreams? You have nothing to lose. Surrender the grip. Surrender the grip you have on love. Surrender the grip you have on your children. Surrender the grip you have on trying to be so perfect. Surrender your grip on trying to look a certain way for people all the time. You don't need to try so hard to get everyone to like you and see you a certain way. People are attracted to you when they feel that you are a channel of the Creator, which means when you fully are in a mode of surrender. A great desire with a great surrender is a magnetic force field. Do you know how much the Creator desires to give you? Our desires are so small compared to all the fulfillment and pleasure that's trying to come in. Such great love is trying to come in. Such great souls. Such great souls are trying to come into your life. Abundance on levels where you never have to think about abundance again. Let's shed the old vessel, the old you. Like the skin of a snake, I want you to shed your old life, your old desires, your old ways of doing things. And I want you to be completely open to a new reality, a new destiny, a greater life. Feel what it feels like in your body to not have to control anything. Feel that weightlessness. Feel all of your muscles become relaxed. All the trauma leave. all the pain dissolve. Like a white light that is coursing through your veins and allowing everything to happen in perfect synchronicity. I want you to feel that. This is your greatest year. You don't have to suffer anymore. You don't have to be alone anymore because you were never alone. Your eyes will open to see the beauty of this world and the beauty of your life that's been there the entire time. I want you to feel the warm embrace of this light all around you, enveloping you, protecting you. As you live your life, you walk out these doors, you enter the world. You're going to be protected every step of the way. Allow yourself to be guided. Stop forcing it. Stop chasing it. Stop guiding yourself. You choose the light and then let go. You choose certainty and then let go. You put in the effort and then let go. You do your part, whatever that is, whatever that means to you at this moment, and then let go. And then when you fully let go, you can come back in. Give it your all, and then let go again. Ride that wave of life. You will be part of the frequency of miracles everywhere you go. People will look up to you. People will honor you and cherish you and value you. People will learn from you. Everywhere you go, you will be a blessing to them, to your community, to all the souls of humanity.